Afternoon, peeps. Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget as well to like and share the vids. All right, let's jump straight in and see what there is to talk about this afternoon. Let's start with this one. WBC President Mauricio Sulaiman will support Jermall Charlo unconditionally. He had a serious mental health episode. Okay, this obviously explains now the near 2-year absence from the ring. I tweeted this a couple of weeks ago. I said, look, what's going on with Jermall Charlo? We haven't heard anything from him. No fight's been announced. He is the reigning WBC Middleweight Champion, unbeaten. And to be fair, a few of you underneath the tweet did say things like, Ade, he's going through some stuff outside the ring. So obviously you guys knew this information. Look, I speak from someone that has had my own bouts with depression, mental health a few years back, and I wish him nothing but the best. It's a difficult thing to go through. It's difficult to talk to people. You don't know where to turn. You don't know who to trust. So look, I wish him nothing but the best, and hopefully he's now the right side of it. He has been saying recently that he wants to fight with Demetrius Andrade. So hopefully whatever he was going through, he's now recovering from, and he's in a good place. Carl Froch, Jake Paul can't fight. He lost to Tommy Fury, who is not even British level. Who cares? I mean, who cares? Look, as far as I'm concerned, Jake Paul's winning in life right now. I think the only problem is Jake Paul did say things like he wants to fight Canelo in a couple of years' time and he could potentially beat Canelo, and maybe that's what's pissed a few people off. But look, I know what I'm watching when I'm watching Jake Paul, and I've said this about all these crossover influencer boxing people. I mean, if you're watching them expecting to see the second coming of Muhammad Ali, then that's your fault. These guys are in there, they entertain out the ring, and some of them are actually pretty decent in the ring. Jake Paul's taking this seriously. Jake Paul, I think, is taking the sport of boxing, and I mean just in terms of learning the craft and how many times he's in the gym, he's taking the sport of boxing a lot more seriously than some boxers do. That's fact. I know a lot of boxers. And look, I mean, he's doing good numbers. I mean, he's making money. If you were to have told me 4 years ago that Jake Paul's going to fight Nate Diaz, I would have said you're mental. If you told me 4 years ago he was going to fight a Tommy Fury like us, I would have said you're mental. So, I mean, he's doing good things. He's doing good numbers. He's making a lot of money, and he's treating the sport, I think, with a level of respect as well in terms of how much he's dedicated his life to it. That's just what I think. Eddie Hearn, super lightweight, will be boxing's new glamour division. I hope they fight each other. This is good news. I mean, if you're a super lightweight, 140 pounds, this is what you want to hear, right? You want to know that there's money in the division. I still think it's a division that lacks a real superstar, like a real superstar. Look, Ryan's going to go up there and maybe he's that guy. Eventually, Shakur, Devin, all of them will be up there. But for now, and I said this the other day, you've got arguably the two biggest names in the division fighting each other, and they're fighting each other in the Hulu Theatre. That's Teofimo Lopez and Josh Taylor. So it still needs that guy that maybe moves the needle a little bit. Is that Regis Prograis? I'm not sure. Is it Ryan? Is it Tank? Is it Shakur? Is it Devin in a couple of years? Maybe so. Sticking with Regis Prograis, Liam Parrow's out of their fight June 17th. They're looking at a new opponent. What's that? 4.5 weeks. Shouldn't be that tough to get someone. It shouldn't really, should it? Not with that notice. And I've always said, look, stay ready. Don't get ready. So if you're one of those fighters right now and you get the call, you should be able to get in shape in 4 weeks to fight Regis Prograis. The money's going to be good. It's a world title fight. Let's hope someone is in shape. And they should be. They should be in shape. Again, you're getting a good 4 and a bit weeks to get in shape. Won't be easy, but it can be done. Right, Devin Haney, this has been the best my weight has been up until this point to the fight. Looks good. Looks good so far. We're a couple of days out. He looks good. He always looks good up until the point when he gets on the scales. When he gets on the scales, he looks like he's about to give over. He does. I mean, his eyes are really sunken. His head looks really big. He looks like he is struggling, and he clearly is struggling. Devin Haney really is a guy that will eventually get to 147. Whereas Loma has tapped out at 135. Loma's still far too small for 135. So it'll be interesting to see how he rehydrates. I have heard that the weigh-in is at 9 in the morning. I know a lot of people are not happy about that because that clearly gives Devin an advantage in this fight if he already doesn't have all the advantages. That means by the time fight night rolls around, he would have had 36, 37 hours to rehydrate, and that could make a massive difference. It really can. Bear in mind, most weigh-ins are in the afternoon. I will say this though, for those of you that maybe think all weigh-ins are in the afternoon, a lot of those are ceremonial weigh-ins. Not all of them, but there's a few of them that are ceremonial weigh-ins. And what I mean by that is that the weigh-ins already happened in the morning, and what you guys are seeing is just two guys getting on the scales just for TV. So although we've been told the weigh-ins at 9 o'clock, that happens. A lot of that happens already. But I now definitely give a lot of the advantages to Devin Haney. He still won't be 100% come fight night. It's impossible to deplete your body the way he depletes it, and for it to be 100% on fight night, but it will be very, very good. And I give him all the advantages to get the job done over Loma. Hearn confident a Joshua Wilder deal can be done for the Middle East. Next, Sulaiman says the WBC will not sanction Canelo Bivol title fight at 168. This is a joke, isn't it? This is an absolute joke that Mauricio Sulaiman is, because of a war between Russia and Ukraine, is blaming or was hindering a Russian fighter. I find it a joke. Like, honestly, there's so much I want to say about this, but I just need to chill. It's a fucking disgrace. And I was going to say, oh, forget it then. Just throw away the belt. Like, who cares? But if you're Bivol, you care. The only reason Bivol wants to go down to 168 is to become undisputed. So I could use, what the Fight Disciples, Adam Catchell and Nick Peake say, which has been the belts. And there is an element of that. But he wants to become undisputed. I've spoken to him. He wants to become undisputed at 168. Then he wants to become undisputed at 175. And Mauricio Sulaiman is blocking both of those avenues, because he's already said he will not sanction the WBC belt for the Bivol Beterbiev fight. And now he's saying he won't do the same thing for Canelo Bivol. Honestly, it's a disgrace. What a joke that is. What a joke. Fucking idiot. KSI rejects idea of Fournier rematch if outcome is changed to a no contest or disqualification. Next. All right, let's talk about... I ain't wasting time talking about that. Let's talk about the big fight this weekend. I am going there, by the way. A lot of you might see me here and think, what's going on with Ade? I had something to do for TalkSport today, so I couldn't fly out today. Prior commitments that I completely forgot about. I am flying out tomorrow morning. I get into Dublin at around 8:30, hotel, chill, and then obviously do my stuff after the weigh-in. But really looking forward to going over. Really looking forward to going to the Black Forge, Conor McGregor's pub. There's a bit of a meet and greet. So if you are there, I will be there for the meet and greet. I think Ariel Helwani's hosting it. But yeah, looking forward to getting out there. I've seen all the media workouts, the press conference, and I have to admit, I'm actually jealous that I'm not there already. But look, it's a big fight. You know what's interesting? And look, this doesn't really matter once they get in the ring. None of this shit matters. But it is interesting that it's Katie Taylor versus Chantelle Cameron, as opposed to the champion's name coming first, the person who's putting her belts on the line. That's what really happened. Chantelle Cameron versus Katie Taylor. That's kind of what it should be. But look, who cares about that? This fight is so intriguing for a number of reasons. Obviously, look, let's rewind and talk about how we even got here. Remember, it was supposed to be Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor at Croke Park. That couldn't happen. And then it was like, okay, Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, whatever order you want, versus Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano at the Free Arena. And I thought that was a big come down, massive come down. So you've gone from 80,000 to 9,500. But it's Katie Taylor's first fight professionally back in her home country. So regardless of how many people there, it's a special occasion. Amanda Serrano gets injured and you're thinking, okay, the fight card's off, which would have been really, really bad. It would have been bad. Chantelle Cameron throws her hat in the ring. And I'm thinking that there isn't no way Katie's going to take that fight, because Katie would have wanted to wait until September, because that's when they said they think they can get Croke Park. But no, Katie's like, I'll fight her. And not only will I fight her, I will go up to her weight class and fight her there. And look, that's ballsy. It is ballsy, because Chantelle Cameron's no mug. She's a very good fighter, 140 pounds. She's a little bit bigger, not that much. A lot of people are making too much about the weight. She's a little bit bigger than Katie. She's a lot fresher than Katie, although They turned pro around the same time. Katie 2016, Chantelle 2017. She just hasn't been through the wars that Katie's been. She hasn't. Mary McGee was quite tough. At times, McCaskill got a bit rough and ready, but nothing like the wars. So I'm shocked that Katie's agreed to do this. But that's Katie. Katie is just a warrior. She really is. For someone that is so quiet and softly spoken outside the ring, when she gets in the ring, she just turns. Honestly, she flips the switch and she turns into this warrior. And I love that the fact that she was like, no, I will fight. I want to fight. Eddie, make that fight happen. And, Eddie's made it happen. I do wonder with Katie how much more is left. And every time I ask this question, people shut me down. Katie's 36, man. She's no spring chicken. I've said this about male boxers that are 36. This isn't a sexist remark. 36 is 36. It's a long career, a long amateur career, and a tough pro career. What's left? It's a fair question. She's had to go to the well quite a few times in fights, and she's found a way. Don't get me wrong. She's found a way. Some of those fights have been semi-controversial. Delphine Pursoon, the first fight, was controversial. Some people maybe thought Tasha Jonas did enough to win. Not for me, but again, controversial. And obviously the Amanda Serrano fight, controversial. And aside from those fights being controversial, those fights have been physically very, very tough. You chuck in the second Delphine Pursoon fight, you chuck in the Lina Datu fight, she's had to go to the well time and time again. Luckily enough, she's found some water, to use the expression. She's always found something, She might have to go to the well again on Saturday. What will be there when she goes? What will be there? We don't know. I don't know. But I can tell you now, Chantelle's going to force her to dig deep again. And I hope, and look, I work on the broadcast, so sometimes I like to fence it here, but I hope that she can find something, because this is a big thing for her, fighting back in your hometown. Like I would hate for her to lose after everything she's done for the sport. For her to go back home and suffer a defeat when she's been screaming to fight back in Ireland for so many years would be a horrible thing to happen to her. I really do. As much as I like Chantelle, and I've spoken to Chantelle a few times, it would be heartbreaking for that to happen. So I hope there's something there. I hope that she can find something in those reserves to eke out a win. And I think it will be eking out a win. I really do. Because as much as she likes to box, Katie, and you go and watch the Amanda Serrano fight, the first couple of rounds, she's boxing, she's on the back foot, it's beautiful. When she gets hit, and Chantelle will hit her, the red mist descends and it's all out war. That's just how she fights. It's all out war. She almost puts on a show for us that she doesn't need to do. She is such a skillful boxer. She could literally fight on the back foot and win this on points. But it's almost like she wants to entertain, very reminiscent of Mexican fighters. And that might be her downfall in this fight. It might be. Look, a lot of people for a number of years have said that Chantelle is the one to beat Katie. I've not understood it. I've not really seen what they've seen. Again, I've worked on Chantelle's last 3 fights. I don't see it. But what I do see is a girl that's gutsy, very determined, has a fantastic training set up with Nigel Travis and Jamie Moore. And she's good. She's good. And look, they fought as amateurs, didn't they? Back in 2011 European Championship. Obviously, Katie won that. So I do wonder if that's been on the back of, or that's been in the back of Chantelle's mind. Like, there'll be a bit of get back. There'll be a bit of get back. And here she has a chance to really get back. She does. For Katie, she has the chance to become, I think, the greatest female fighter of all time. And it's difficult when I compare her to Clarissa. But I just think, as a pro, I just think she's fought the better opposition. That's what it is, really. I mean, Clarissa's achievements are incredible. I mean, people talk about Clarissa being double Olympic gold medalist. I think she was double junior Olympic gold medalist as well. Double undisputed. So Clarissa's CV is incredible. But as a pro, I just think Katie Taylor's CV is better. And if Katie Taylor were to win on Saturday, then I think it makes the case for her being the greatest even stronger. It does. I do wonder how Chantelle's going to handle the atmosphere. Again, people continually tell me about this atmosphere. Like, Ada, you wait, man, you wait. I can't wait for it. I wonder how Chantelle's going to take it. I don't think it's going to be hostile. I think it's going to be respectful, but it's clearly going to be all Katie Taylor. Like 99.9% of the fans in that building are for Katie. And I do wonder how Chantelle's going to handle that, because every time Chantelle's fought, it's been quite positive. The reception's been good. Mary McGee, basically at home, right? Hometown favourite. Fantastic. Bustos, hometown. Even when she fought in Abu Dhabi, no boos whatsoever for her. Quite respectful. This time, it's not going to be like that. But look, I'm expecting it to be a really good night of boxing. Let's quickly bring up the card. What else is on it? You got my fan favourite Gary Cully on it, which I think he's going to be a superstar. I really do. There's nothing I don't like about Gary Cully. Not just because of what he does in the ring, but what he does outside the ring. And I've noticed Matchroom starting to give him a bit of a push as well. Dennis Hogan versus James Metcalf, IBO Super Welterweight title is interesting. James Metcalf is coming off a couple of good wins. The real win is when he fought in Spain, Kerman Laharaja. He beat him quite comfortably as well. Dennis Hogan has fought at such a higher level, and his only defeats have come to really good guys. I thought he beat Jaime Munguia. It was a majority decision away from home. I think he beat Jaime Munguia, but then he was stopped by Jermall Charlo and Tim Tszyu. And all those 3 defeats were back to back to back. So I thought that could be that. He's had a couple of good wins since. He's 38. What's left? Metcalf is looking really good under Joe McNally. That's a good fight. Terry Harper versus Cecilia Brækhus. It's funny, we've been talking about the GOATs of female boxing. For years, it was Cecilia Brækhus. She was it, right? She was the woman that had all the belts. Obviously, look, coming off those defeats to Jessica McCaskill, she's had one fight after those defeats, a 6-rounder. This is an interesting matchup, like what's left in Cecilia. I think she's 39-40. Terry looked good going up to 154 pounds, but that was against Hannah Rankin. Cecilia's better than that. That's an interesting fight. Kevin Ajako against Grant Dennis. We haven't seen Kevin in the ring for about a year. And so that's I'm guessing that's the 7 o'clock. So that's the DAZN portion of it. So Kevin Ajako versus Grant Dennis. Gary Cully versus Jose Felix. Jose Felix fought Sandor Martin last year. This is and then Sandor then went and fought Teofimo. Sandor beat him quite comfortably, but he is quite aggressive. So yeah, Gary Cully versus Jose Felix, Terry Harper versus Cecilia Brækhus, Chantelle Cameron, Katie Taylor, obviously the main event, and I'm guessing this is co-main, Dennis Hogan versus James Metcalf. It's not bad. It's not bad, is it? It's decent. But no, looking to get over there, looking to have a nice pint of Guinness, and it should be fun. All right, is there anything else before we wrap and say goodbye? Let's have a look quickly. De La Hoya on Tank Garcia. The weight drain was a huge issue. Next. What's this one? Sorry, I'm just seeing some stuff about Lomachenko. Lomachenko seems very... He's always arrogant, Loma. I love his arrogance, by the way, but he seems very confident. Like everyone's, thinking I'm not going to win this one. You watch, I'm going to surprise you. This will be, no doubt about it, this will be Devon's hardest fight. It will be. Hardest fight by far. See how it plays out. Fraser Clark versus Marius Vac set for June 16th at York Hall. Decent matchup. Vac will give him rounds, I think. Not quite sure what's going on. How many fights has Marius Vac had, by the way? Must be about, I'm going to guess and say about 50 or 60. Let's have a look. Feels like he's been everyone's guy that everyone goes to when they need a fighter to get rounds. He's had 45 fights. He's 43 now, the Viking. It's crazy. He's got a fight scheduled literally just under 2 weeks before the Fraser Clark fight. Fraser Clark is going to be keeping his fingers crossed that Marius Vac doesn't get cut in that fight. I've no idea what fighters risk that. But there was a time when Marius Vac here, about 10 years ago, was considered something of a contender, maybe a bit longer than that. Obviously, that isn't the case now. He's now literally just, if you have a prospect, get Marius Vac. All right, guys, girls, peace and love.